This video is brought to you by the Deck of Many and Humblewood.net. Welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. I'm Theo, and it's release week for Descent into Avernus. My gem has Hell Week in October, but this is certainly Hell Week for the rest of us. Today I wanted to show you the Descent into Avernus Dice and Miscellany set. We don't normally review these dice sets because, well, they're dice sets. There's not a lot to say about them. But Wizards has been experimenting lately with its supplementary materials, and they've produced a dice set that I was actually really curious about. So let me show you what's inside. First, obviously, there's dice. Happily, they give you an expanded set, so you get 2 d20s for those advantage and disadvantage rolls, a d12, 2 d10s for those percentile rolls, a d8, 4 d6s for those common damage rolls, and a d4. They have a nice red and black marbling effect with gold numbering that's easy to read on the table. The top and bottom of the box itself are lined with felt, so you can use them both as dice trays. And they feel pretty solid as well. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the Miscellany, which is what really piqued my interest. First, we have these 20 double-sided cards, and they feature art of the various devils and demons as done by Max Dunbar, who has done art for DC Comics, Marvel, Image Comics, and more. Notably, he's done the cover for several D&D comics, including Evil at Baldur's Gate. On the back, the cards feature little stories written by the traveling scholar Volo about his various encounters with the creatures of the Nine Hells. It's a curious addition to the set as it doesn't provide any obvious gameplay function, but you could use the cards to inspire story ideas of your own, to help flesh out your depictions of the creatures in your game, or as stories that the characters might find in the course of their adventures. Perhaps they find lost pages of Volo's notebook in their travels. Let me share one with you. About the Quasit, Volo opines, though cut from the same fiendish cloth as all the other demons, Quasits are somehow more agreeable than most demonkind. Perhaps it's their diminutive size, or maybe they were created in some area of the abyss where the evil and chaos weren't as strong. I've met many Quasits in my time, and although they're usually noisy and foul-tempered, there are the occasional individuals who are quite entertaining, affable, and intelligent. What brings a mortal to accept a Quasit's services is beyond me, but should you meet a Quasit, give it the benefit of the doubt. Take it from Volo, not all abyssal spawn are fit for the paladin's sword. Next, we have the fold-out map of Avernus, suitable for players. It's 10.5 inches by 15.7 inches. No landmarks are labeled on the map, and it appears to be almost an abstract representation of Avernus. Since distance and location in the Nine Hells doesn't necessarily conform to our sense of stability, your players may find the distance between 2 points on this map is a lot further than they were expecting, and locations may even shift without warning. But it's good to have a baseline at least. The map is the same one as in the adventure itself, though that one is larger at 21 inches by 29.5 inches. If you're wanting a DM's version of the poster map, one is being sold by Gale Force 9, and it's about 22 inches by 17 inches, so about a third bigger than the one here. Gale Force 9 sells their map for about $15, and the DM version of the map is available on a page in the official adventure too, of course. On the back of the map is this nice sizing chart for the demons and devils of Avernus. Now, this goes really well with the Descent into Avernus mini collection from Icons of the Realms, as you can get minis from all these creatures with the exception of the Balor. I assume that the Balor was cut from the set if he was ever considered, due to the fact that he would have needed to be a huge mini, and this one topped out at larges. We did get a good Balor in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage set, but this art is quite different from the standard Balor. Who knows, maybe we'll see a new Balor in the next set that includes huge minis. Anyway, back to the dice set. They also include this card with a translation guide to translate between Infernal and Common, and you can use it to read my water bottle here. On the back are Volo's thoughts on the Infernal language. This translation guide is also provided in the adventure itself, but it's good for giving the players if they've earned it. There's also this card featuring 20 trinkets that you may come across in Avernus, including an eyeball carved out of wood and inlaid with metal and glass. There are a few potentially useful items and at least one item that will surprise any classic movie fan in your gaming group. Finally, you get this card with 20 unique encounter ideas as your players wander around Avernus. This is not in the book. For example, they may find a pile of amputated, twitching angel wings. Honestly, these encounters are pretty inspired. This is probably my favorite part of the set. And so that's the Avernus Dice and Miscellany set. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It looks like we're not getting a map set like we did for Dungeon of the Mad Mage and Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Instead, they combine the dice with the supplementary material, and based on what's included, this seems to be aimed more at dungeon masters than players. But most dungeon masters I know are up to their eyeballs in dice. So while that part doesn't appeal to me that much, I'm quite happy with the cards and maps. I do appreciate them experimenting with new combinations of materials, so I'm curious to hear what you think. Thank you for our sponsor this week, the Deck of Many, and their new campaign setting book coming out this November called Humblewood. Humblewood introduces 5 new birdfolk races and 5 new animal-based races called Humblefolk. But today I wanted to introduce you to one of the monsters you may encounter in the Crest Mountains near Humblewood. This is the Humblewood Mountain Lion, a large, challenge rating 1 beast that can not only bite and claw, as you would expect, but who can call down the rocks of the mountain into an avalanche to disrupt their foes. Learn more about Humblewood and pick up the PDF of the adventure today at humblewood.net. Thank you for watching. If you've been playing Humblewood, I would love to hear about your experiences in the comments section below. Thank you all for your continued support. Stay well, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.